Okay. Oh, okay. We live on there. We live on there. Okay. I'm connecting. Am I live on the radio now?
I don't like you right now.
Am I live on the radio right now? It's your girl Lisa, the Baltimore Paparazzi, and this is in the spotlight. I don't like 3D right now, so yeah, we gonna keep it just like that.
She started it, yo.
I ain't start shit. Yeah, I'm always the blame for shit. I got my YouTube live streaming right now, so you can tune in. If you can hear my voice.
Facebook be up in a second.
Oh, Facebook Live be up in a second on Hard Body Radio on one of them pages. Good luck finding it. I don't know which one it is. I'm not even gonna lie. There's because you got like two. There's like two Hard Body pages.
No, this is for like a stab page or like that.
No, I think there's like two. I'm running late as usual. I got technical difficulties as usual.
I never had you.
Yeah, I be on white people time most of the time. I try to be. But in the studio, I got this gentleman right here. Let me tell you one thing about him. I met him a couple years ago when we did the Blaze the Stage shows back in 5 seasons. And G Hood always says if you wasn't his homeboy, he would rob your ass. Because he's blinging all the time. I got Jon Jon Da Phenomenon in the house tonight. What's up, Jon Jon?
Man, I can't.
You can pull that mic right to you, whatever. Hey, there you
go. What it do, boss? What we in here?
Yeah, you hear that accent, don't you? You hear that accent? I love them accents. Oh my God, I love them. I love it. So, so Jon Jon, tell me a little bit about yourself, because all I know is what Hood tells me and when he tries to introduce you, and it's just like, it's like one of those introductions that you hear before like a battle or a fight, It's just like one of those, you win right off the introduction. So, tell me a little bit about where you're from, whatever you want to tell me.
I'm from downtown Jackson, Mississippi. Out off Lamar Street, and that shit. I'm a dude that's really, down to earth. Very inspired, I've been doing music for a long time. I started off in 1996 doing music, and I was in a group, DTS, and since 2010, I've been solo. And, we just been up and down the East Coast, back and forth, over the years. Since about 2008, 2007, going back and forth, man. Shit, we just been working and putting it down. Putting out these mixtapes, a lot of shit, doing a whole bunch of shows in the DMV. I played in the band too, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I played drums. I played the snare drum. So like I really know music and shit. So I take everything that I learned and put it into like a little pot, like a gumbo, and mix it all in.
Okay, yeah, because like I said, I remember when Hood had introduced you and was like, I got, we started doing the Blaze Stage shows after I had a show. I have in the Spotlight is my brand basically, along with my Baltimore Paparazzi name. I had a mixtape series called In the Spotlight. Mm-hmm. I had a showcase show in the Spotlight, and now my radio show in the Spotlight. It's just simpler that way. Mm-hmm. So before I was getting ready to stop doing my showcase shows because, artists was, I split ticket sales with the artist. Mm-hmm. If I'm giving you tickets to perform at my show, you should be getting some kind of compensation. Is my thought. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, other promoters don't think that way, but I think that way. They would come up to me and be like, "Yo, Miss Lisa, I couldn't sell all my tickets." Well, I'm sorry that you couldn't sell all the tickets, but the contract was, I get $75, you get $75. Because I it just got too much. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'm not doing my show no more. So he was like, "Yo, Lisa, don't give up that day. Let me do a show. Me and Unknown do a show. I'll pay you to come out and take pictures." I was like, "Cool, I'm cool with that." So the Blaze the Stage started. So when he was like, "Yo, I got this guy from Mississippi," and I was like, "How the hell you get a guy from Mississippi to come the hell up here?
Yeah.
How is that possible?"
Hungry, starving, by any means necessary, trying to get it.
Right, and you probably get. Do you find? Because this is something that a lot of artists that I'm friends with that do go out of town.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get? You feel like you get a lot more love out of town than you do at home?
Well, it's kind of about equal. People back home, they know me like from the streets. A lot of them didn't even know I was rapping, although they was always around me because you know, when we would do things, we'll do things in a group. So you know that what really just made everybody realize what we was doing was we started rapping. We was on cassette tapes and shit. You know? And then after we switched out them tapes, we dropped in 2000. I dropped the song, and when I dropped this song, it was basically about myself and my cousin DJ Superman Jones. He put it like he put a little chop to it and screwed it and chopped it and made it into an anthem and shit. Since then, it's been on.
Right. Well, see, and what I find is that southern states, not just Georgia, because everybody wants to say, well, down in Atlanta, they all support the local artists. I understand that, but I've been I went to Houston and New Orleans at the end of February, and I'm getting ready to go back with an artist here, Baltimore Big Steve, and Fatboy Deezy, who's from Louisiana, but he lives in Houston now. And I'm going back down there with them for the Essence Festival, I think. I don't know why I'm going. I'm just going.
Mm-hmm.
But I see that there's a lot more love in the southern states. Like I just see that there's a lot more. You know, maybe it's just from being here in Baltimore and seeing a lot and being in the middle of everything, seeing a lot of the negative, the negative vibes that people kind of put out there and like the dumb beefs and all that. But it just seemed like I went down to New Orleans and a couple of people got on, they were doing a radio interview and they were saying some of the similar things that go on here, like the support, sometimes the support is not there where they feel like it should be, but I think it's just like everywhere.
Yeah, Jacktown, it's like that. That's what really sent me on this rage, really, this starving type of mentality, because it was a DJ, he runs on the radio station down there, and his name is DJ Finesse. And when we was like young rapping, trying to get in the club, they had this club downtown called Jazz's. And we had like a little competition or whatever to get into the show. We ended up winning the competition, and when it came down to do the little set at the Jazz's, he kind of just act like, we ain't had no weight behind our name, so it was a real nice crowd. So he basically gave it to somebody else, and the club was in my hood. I'm from downtown, so that I took that as a slap in the face, but I used it to push me, and make myself go past just my own. Performed in every club DC probably about 4 times. Love,
here in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Back when I first came in the scene, there was a lot more clubs. What's known as Paparazzi now, it used to be Sonar, and that to me was like the underground. You seen 8 Mile?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the club where they had the battles at?
Mm-hmm.
That's what Sonar kind of put me in mind of. It was that kind of underground feel, and everybody performed there. But it turned, the owner got in some trouble because he was trafficking marijuana across the state.
Yeah.
across from California to here. But anyway, and he ended up having to he sold the club before he got into real big trouble. So somebody else bought it and turned it into Paparazzi. Not the same feel. We had 5 Seasons, but 5 Seasons got shut down. Mm-hmm. And now we got Gentleman 10, which is where everybody's going. So there's a lot more clubs in DC. So I understand like trying to remember all the names of all those clubs because I've been to like.
They changed too.
Yeah.
Like you've been to Kane now, did a show, and you come back again. It's called a new name now.
Mm-hmm. Because they try to, like, 5 seasons was 5 seasons forever, and then he tried to change the name, trying to give it, get more people in there, or like he was trying to do a lounge kind of thing. 5 seasons, that was like, for me, it was like almost like the home of Baltimore hip hop, because that's where everybody had performed at. So then he changed the name. It was like, what the hell is this? But like you said, if you're from out of town and you're, somebody says, "Oh, I want you to perform at such and such a club," and you go there, we're like, "Hold on, wait a minute, wasn't this name something else before?"
Yeah.
Like Paparazzi. That I get people ask me all the time, I want to book a show at your club. I said, I am the Baltimore Paparazzi. I am not the Paparazzi Club. No, they get that confused all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. If you haven't, I don't call this an interview. I call this a conversation between two people. So, I don't have things written down, but I do usually ask the same questions, which is, at what point did you realize this is what you wanted to do? That you wanted to do music? Because you said you was in a, you played in a band, but you were in a group. So when was that point in your life? How young were you when you started with music?
I don't know. I was like, it was like 1996. So I would think of stuff in my head that to battle rap.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's how I got more versatile. That's how I started trying to make a name for myself and start off in the he had won the battle. The guy was Cyrus. I went to the mall, we battle rap, and I'm representing my hood, and this guy representing South Jackson. And man, this man came out there rapping like a tongue twister, like Twister.
Oh my
and
God.
Back in the day, I didn't even know how to rap fast, so by me not being a real, like, to the art, and I kind of jumped out there like I was, that was my first loss. And that was the last time I ever lost any battle rap. So I did that from like 98 to probably like 2006. We was battle rapping, and I could blend in because I was in a group with 8 other people. So I didn't have to really be like a songwriter. I just come in and spit a verse, say a hook that we all come up with. But once I realized, what come with the responsibility of representing where you from, I kind of thrived out there because I come from the hood. I seen all the dope boys come up, and when they come up, the hood loved them. So something like that inspired. And since I started putting a little fun, yeah. And my dad told me, he said, "Man, you ain't gonna make it." That's the first thing he told me.
Well, because it's almost like, well, nowadays everybody in Baltimore City, I know, seems to be rapping. Like every time I go somewhere, it's like, I'm like, who the hell is this? Yeah. Like, who is this? Where they come from? Like, everybody raps now. Yeah. I've had people tell me, because I said I was not gonna date another rapper. I've had it with these rappers. I've dated a couple of them, and I said I'm not dealing with no more rappers. I met a guy. No lie. I was walking through Johns Hopkins Hospital. I was coming from an appointment. I had my godson with me. Dude was walking. He spoke to me. Of course, he was behind me. He spoke to me. He started talking to me. Mind you, he had on a shirt, where he can't get away from it. Everybody raps.
It took over.
Yeah. It's and some of them, like I said this last Saturday when I had the twins here, some people that I see on stage need to sit down.
Yeah.
They really need to sit down, and they need to stop listening to their yes men. Yeah. Every time that Hood puts together a show, I already know these people are going to give me a performance. They're going to be able to give me what I need to see. What I need to see in an artist is not only just lyrics, but I need to know that you can have a stage performance. You're not just standing up there with the microphone, with your eyes closed rapping. You got to interact with the crowd. So everybody that was on stage, you know, with the show, I had already seen you numerous times before, so I already knew what to expect. You know, you don't get up there with a lot of people behind you.
At all.
You know, it's like solo dolo.
By myself.
Right. So, I was getting ready to say, you kind of, well, I mean, I know you said that Ice Cube was the one that, you know, the day that's when you said, I'm going to do this. Who kind of influenced you, like, coming up? Was there any influences from?
Yeah, living in Mississippi, for some reason, I don't know what it was, but back in the 90s, all the music from Detroit used to come down to Jackson. And there was this group called Top Authority. And all the dope boys used to listen to them. So, and there was another group that came after them, it was called Dating Family. And I was listening to Dating Family. And I was always wondering, like, you know, they would talk about they was from Flint. And, you know, I was like, what the hell is that? I ain't never heard of it down south.
Flint, Michigan.
I ain't know what it was because I was a kid at the time. So, you know, after I went to listen to them, that kind of led me to listening to Southern rappers. And the first rappers that really inspired me, my dad had went and bought me back in the day, like out West Jackson. They used to have like a little flea market where the dudes would sell up, post up selling tapes and all that stuff.
Right.
And my dad used to bring me home tapes. And one day he brought me home a tape of MJG and 8 Ball sitting on top of the world.
Yo.
And from that day, I done had that tape about 15 times. I done had the CD about 6-7 times.
Right.
And from that album right there, it made me want to be Southern rapping with versatility.
Right.
You know, like that was a quote that they had, MJG had said in the song. And I was like, man, these boys is cold. You know, and, you know, because they was like the first down south rappers that was kind of like lyrical to me. You know, I had Master P, but he was like a hood icon. You know, and he had his whole gang. But I learned a lot from him too.
Right.
And that's a lot of influence that I got from that's where the S coming from our name, the Soldiers. We was watching what he was doing.
Right.
And that Our Body movement. In Jackson, it was crazy. You couldn't play that song at all. And if they played it, they made an announcement before they played it. And if when the shit get out of hand, they cut the song off.
Right.
That's a fighting song.
Right. That's almost like Annie Up.
Yeah.
When because I've been in places and Annie Up's come on and we're like, oh my God, here we go. Everybody's gonna get wild. But I'm not from Baltimore, but I'm from Maryland. I was born in Delaware, but I was raised in Maryland, but on the Eastern Shore in the country. Music was always in my household, whether it was country, rock and roll, you know, always music. Now, my first song that I remember hearing, telling my age, I heard on also the Southern rappers, you know. 8 Ball MJG, you give me B.O.M.B, you give me Uncle Chad, you give me Uncle Chad, I'm good, you give me Outkast, like all that because, and I do love, you know, don't get me wrong, I love my New York, and I played the hell out of it, and I was like waiting for the God Box to come out.
Okay.
But David, that's not me, that does not fit me, you know. So, you know, the way his music has evolved, you know, it's a lot different than back when he did the song with, was it Chris Brown and who was it? What was it? Was it Jeezy? No, it was one, I don't know, somebody.
You know, I got a crazy story about David Bell. I know he probably don't remember this, but back in the day, like when he was before he really blew up in the world, he was with this group called the Firewater Boys. They was from the Queens in Jackson. And they had, one day, we was up on the north end and David Banner pulled up in our hood and came play basketball with us and everything. He gave everybody posters and he gave us some tapes and he was telling us he was going to blow. And he signed me an autograph on a poster. I still got that poster to this day.
And it's wild because, you know, I guess he knew where he was going. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's wild. Like I said, you give me that's why I say, like, when you talk, like when I was leaving the club that night, I heard there was some girl that I was getting ready to say bye to you, and I heard her like, I love the way you talk, and I was like, oh Lord.
There we go.
Yeah, I was like, because I mean, and like for me, like I have a friend of mine he's from Louisiana, he's from Baton Rouge, so whenever he talks to me, like he's out on the West Coast right now. But even like he'll video chat with me, he's still got that drawl, and it's just like, okay, talk to me some more. It's like when I met Cuban Links a couple years ago, and all night, mommy, come here, mommy, and I'm like, hey, here I come. So that it's that drawl that that gets me as far as when the way people talk, the way they rap, because if you can almost tell, well, not in Baltimore, but you can usually tell where people are from when you hear them rap, like the way they rap and the things that they rap about. Baltimore tries to be New York and it tries to be down south all at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed that doing the shows.
I noticed it tripped me out because like back in the day, like especially rapping in the '90s, up north used to talk about we was country. They didn't pronounce their words like that.
Right.
They was rapping, correct. And, when you go up north now, you still think you down south because they rapping on South beats. They saying it, and they almost sound like they from the South.
Right.
And
that's and my thing is, I want to hear, like, if I want to hear Future, I'll play Future. So I like when I'm at shows, I'm very critical when I'm at shows. I don't like 50 people on stage behind you because it takes away from me concentrating on you. I'm watching a drunk ass standing in the corner trying to rap your song he don't know the words to because he too drunk or he falling over everywhere. So I'm waiting for him to do something really, really stupid. I'm not even watching you anymore. And like I said, you have if you're gonna rap over your vocals, have your vocals turned down, because I understand sometimes some people's voices don't project well on the microphones or whatever. So I understand having that vocal. But if I'm gonna listen, if you're just gonna have your CD play, you might as well just hand me the CD and I'll just go listen to it in the car.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to hear you perform. So I'm kind of critical when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Me too. I know how it is because I try to make sure every time I rap, I got the mic dead to my mouth.
Yeah, because every time I try to get a picture of your face, it's like, okay, he's going to take it down in a minute. I know he's going to take it any second now. He's going to take it, and I try to get a picture. Because, I get a lot of pictures of you performing. But sometimes I want to get a picture of just, like, you standing there with a microphone. That's, in my mind, that's what I do. But most of the time I just snap. You only get 10 pictures, but there's, I don't know how many on my webpage. Or on my Facebook page. I don't know how many there are. Because I just snap. And I always try to get your chains. Because, Because Hood keeps talking about Hood kills me when he says that. Hood kills me when he says that. How long have you known Hood?
I know Hood about 4, maybe 5 years, man.
He's good people.
Good people. Yeah, I've been to the studio and everything.
Yeah, he's grown on me over the years. I met him at an open mic, and now it's gotten to the point he'll call me, but like, what you doing? Like, I'm not. You in the house? Yeah. All right. Well, here I come. Who told you to come over my house? He'll be like, I got to talk to you about something, and that whole mentality, don't do business over the phone.
Yeah. So
yeah, him and Unknown both, like that's my, they're my family. So anything, if something happens to them, you're gonna see me there, cause no, we're not having that. But he like I said, I watch the people that he selects for his event or whatever, and I'm never disappointed. The twins, that was their first show performing together. The MBK boys, that was their first show. So I was like, well, you all acted like you've been performing,
That's how you do it.
Right? I was like, I didn't even see any nervousness in you. None. They was like, I mean, we've been doing like talent shows at schools and stuff like that. And I was like, he said, but this was our first performance. You know, I was like, wow.
That will get you ready though. Little stuff like that, you might not think it, it'll help you, but doing them little shows and like performing in front of people, and like if you a battle rapping in front of people, that all comes to play. Like when it's time to perform, you ain't scared, when everybody's just staring at you first.
Right, because they don't know you.
They don't know you, so you gotta, a few minutes into your set, you change all that. You have a head rocking. That's how you know. But all that comes into play. You gotta have some type of experience of being doing something, or else you gonna freeze them.
Right. So, what is your ultimate goal as far as this? Are you looking to find a label to get with? Are you trying, are you just trying to keep it independent, or?
Well, right now I have my own label, DTSNT. So I'm just gonna stay independent. And if a right deal come, we might try to talk, but independent, I believe that's really the best way to go. Because I don't like answering to people. And I damn sure don't want nobody telling me what to do with my music and how to do it.
Or what to do with your money.
Yes, that too. So I'd rather pay somebody up front for a service and get mine on the back end and just, take it it might take a little bit longer, but
right.
You get more money too.
And that's been my whole thing, because I have a nephew that he used to always want to get signed to Cash Money. That was his goal. He was like 17. He was like, I want to get signed. I want to get signed. I said, what are you talking about? You want to get signed? I want to get signed with Lil Wayne and them. And then, because Lil Wayne, that's who he looked up to. Because, my nephew, he doesn't write. It was all in his head. So, I mean, that worked for him. That's cool. But I was like, what do you mean you want to deal? And I was trying to get him to understand that, yeah, you get a deal with somebody and they give you this money, but that money has to go to pay for this, that, and the third, and you got to pay that money back.
Yes.
And then I'm like, why do you think people are on tour 360 days out of a year? Because that's where they make their money at. I was trying to school him on this, because I don't claim to know a lot, but I pay attention. And I've seen where a lot of people have gotten signed with companies or with labels. Like Comp, who's from Baltimore, was signed to Def Jam years ago. I think he was like 17 when he got signed. He still got projects. I think he's got a project still sitting on the shelf that'll never get released. You know what I mean? That's all that music right there is wasted.
Yeah, that's bad. You should just, be your own company and pay for distribution.
Right, and I keep going back, because one of my favorite artists is Tech Nine. And one reason is because he is independent. Him and Travis teamed up all those years ago. Travis O'Gwen teamed up all those years ago and made strange music. They have, Tech is on the Forbes list, like 4 or 5 years in a row now, because of the decisions that they've made as a company and everything. And he I finally got to see him in concert here, and he was on stage for over 2 hours. He was on stage for over 2 hours, and he was like, what other rapper do you know that gets on stage for 2 hours? And he had a whole setup. It was just phenomenal to me. I'm watching this man, and I've watched interviews with his partner, talking about business stuff. And I'm like, yo, why don't people understand? Yeah, it's going to take money.
Yeah. So
you rapping about money that you got. You rapping about these cars that you driving. So, but when it comes to doing a show, you got to wait for a ride, because you don't have that Benz that you keep talking about in your songs.
Yeah.
You don't have that money you keep talking about in your songs, because you're not investing in what you do. And that's my whole thing. I love it when somebody says that they just want to be independent. If they do get any kind of deal, they want it to be a distribution deal, something like that, because it's not like it used to be.
At all.
It's not the companies are not handing over hundreds of thousands of dollars to sign you.
Mm-hmm. They want to see what you already did.
Right.
Jump on your bandwagon.
Right. See if they can make some money off of what you've already got in place.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's like I said, like they're making money off of these rappers like Lil Yachty and what's the other little Uzi Vert or whatever. I don't know who these people are. I just know them because my kids listen to them.
Yeah.
You know, my grandson he's 2, so of course he likes anything that's got a good beat.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then he tries to sing the songs, but they're making money off of these kids, and I don't know. I don't know what this. I guess they're calling it mumble rap now.
Yeah.
You know, so I can't get with it. I'm too old for that.
Yeah, that's a little bit. That ain't. I don't really. If you get in my car, you'll never hear me play none of them. And that ain't no disrespect to them, but that ain't what floats my boat.
Right.
You know, I come like my dad's real old school, and he used to tell me, you know, all the origins of, you know, rap and how it come from blues.
Yeah.
And it's about telling a story, you know. And I know nowadays it's really just the dance and the do, you know, whatever the trend is. But I always kind of been different about everybody doing one thing. I'm gonna go the other way.
Yeah, that's
You know,
that's what I
don't
do.
follow trends. I try to set them.
Right.
You know, so plus I like the music.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up listening to Tupac. You know, so it's hard for me to go from, you know, All Eyes on Me to and then everybody rap like that.
Yeah. And it's almost like I said before, it's almost to the point to where you hear a song and you be like, is that so and so? And be like, no, it's so and so. Be like, but it sounds
you don't know who is who. Everybody just cloning.
It's with me. It's like
whatever's hot. That's what everybody gonna rap like.
And I can't do that. I can't do whatever's hot. Like
because hot gets cold.
Right.
Everything got 2 sides.
Right. You know, and that's like I said about the longevity. I was having a conversation with my daughter today. Her fiance's nephew was there, and he was playing some. I guess it was some little local boys. I don't know who they were, but he was playing them, and my daughter was like, she's like, I just look at these people like, who are you and where did you come from? I said, how do you think I feel? You know, and a lot of these kids now are. Back in the day, it was people being found on MySpace.
Yeah.
Now they're being found on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they're not performing at places. They're not performing at events and stuff like that. They're getting all their fame and notoriety from YouTube. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's cool. But how long are they going to last?
Yep.
What is their longevity?
Man, it's so crazy. It's like I just seen so many people that say like they do music and did music, and like since from 96 to now, I seen so many go up, then come back down, and so many start and stop. And it's all about, you know, having perseverance and believing in yourself. You know, you can't do what everybody else do, because then you give everybody, you put a bullseye on your back.
Mm-hmm.
You're a walking target.
Right.
Everybody got something to say or something, a reason to hit the target, because you being likes, and then when that trend changed, then what you gonna do?
Right.
You stuck in one trend, so you gotta always try to be unique, you know, and come up with your own. That's one thing about my music. When you hear me, you can't say I sound like nobody.
Right.
You know, you might hear influences, but you can't say I sound like Future.
Right.
You can't say I sound like 50 Cent. You can't say my music sound like Kendrick Lamar. Like my music gonna be a whole different style from every genre,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But it's Mississippi style.
Right.
It's because, you know, a lot of people, like Mississippi got its different flavors, you know. Like, you know, some rappers rap about trapping, you know, and most of them, the trapping ain't work, so they see rapping as a backup.
Right.
You know, that's a way to keep them out in the fame, keep them looking like they doing trap stuff. But in reality, man, you wasting so much time trying to trap. You've been better off getting your job, He had more money. And
right. And you ain't gotta look over your shoulder.
You ain't gotta look on your shoulder, man, because it's one thing I learned from my dad. My dad was a hustler in the street. My dad old now. My dad, he retired not too long ago, but he told me, he said, man, I ain't started working until I was in my late 30s. I spent all my times in the street, so once I got old, I ain't got nothing coming unless I work to damn near I'm 70.
Mm-hmm.
And he retired 2 years ago. Now he's straight, but that's when he said it to me, I thought about how many people I knew that didn't spend their whole life trapping.
Right.
And one day you can't outrun them, police no more. You can't outthink them. And, and everybody that you be with ain't going to be solid. Somebody going to tell at some point.
Oh, yeah.
So, you better out getting a job.
Yep. That's why I try to tell the little youngins around. Like, before we was on air, and I was like, I don't know, because, I don't know how long you've been up and around this area, but Poplar Grove is one of those areas in Baltimore. Before I moved there, I had a friend of mine who was a police officer. And I told him where my house was that I was gonna be moving into when I moved to Baltimore. And he was like, please don't move there. Oh my God, please. That is one of the worst areas in Baltimore City. Please don't move there. I spent almost 7 years there. I had to deal with little knuckleheads. I don't know what they thought they were. And then all of a sudden one day they were Crips. Like one day they weren't Crips, the next day they were Crips. I don't know how that happens, where that happens at, but all of a sudden they were Crips. And then I had to deal with them, like when I first moved around there, I had to deal with the drug dealers, the little hoppers and stuff. My house had been vacant, so of course they hiding stuff all over, front and back. So I had a problem with the guy who was in charge of them. Like they were holding him back because he was gonna hit me, and I said, let him go. You think I ain't never been hit before? Shit. So we got into it. A couple days later, he came by and apologized because he had been drinking or whatever. And, we had some other little issues along the way, but that's family now. They're family. A lot of them have gotten out of that because they realized they couldn't outrun the police no more. They was in their 20s by this time. They couldn't outrun the police no more. They, tired of being locked up all the time.
Yeah. When you go to jail and you sitting there and you got everybody wants your family, wants y'all, you calling people, don't want nobody else, don't want nobody except to collect call. Man, you start realizing then.
It's not worth it.
Man, I ain't doing this no more when I get out of here.
Right. So I had to deal with all the little, after I got, then like I said, then it became they were Crips. So I had to deal with them. And it came to a point where I was like, you know what, I gotta go. I gotta move to another neighborhood, get my kids out of here. And yeah, because I look around and some of them haven't learned their lessons.
Yeah.
Some of them are still in and out of jail. I'm like, y'all must be really, like, you must like men because you just stay going to jail. I don't like females, so I'm not going to risk my freedom to go sit up with a bunch of females. I'm not going to do it. Ain't fun. So I used to do ringtones back in the day when I had when Boost the Nextel. I made my own ringtones. So I started doing ringtones, and I used to tell everybody about the local scene. But they only knew about what was on the radio, which at that time was like, Mully Man was on the radio, Boss Man, Scar Akbar, Huli Shalom, Tim Trees. It was only like I said, like a handful. Mm-hmm. Now, is there like in the music scene down in your hometown, is there any kind of love that you get from the radio, or is it kind of like it is here where it's far and few between? Like we have Squirrel Wide and Pork Chop who have a segment and they do the Hooligan Express, and like they'll play certain local artists' music as long as it's in their code, how they have to have the copyright and all that stuff. You have to have it all ready for radio airplay. So is it like that down there too, or? Yeah,
like Jacktown, like since I left, like going back and forth, like the music scene has evolved a lot. They always had a little segment on the radio called Pump It or Dump It. Mm. They let people listen to it and they call back and tell them what to pump it or anything, like if they dumped it. But it's kind of thin. Mm-hmm. It ain't a lot of opportunities for the artists to get on radio, not unless they finna pay somebody.
Yeah, the payola.
They pay somebody under the table. they probably can get on. But you know, down Mississippi, period, they just need to do a whole better job when it comes to helping the artists.
Yeah, I think that's just about everywhere. I really do. I mean, I think that people have looked and seen what Atlanta has done.
Yeah.
And so they comparing it to Atlanta and like, I don't know how long it took for them to get that kind of, that kind of support from people in Atlanta to support the local. But I mean, Jeezy started out with his music in the damn strip clubs. Which is I'm thinking is a good place to have your music played.
Yeah, 'cause that's what word of mouth.
Right.
I get you.
So I mean, I've been trying to tell, I tell people, I try to give people ideas on what how to progress or whatever here, ever since I came in the scene, because I've tried to explain to them that you are a commodity and this is a business. Mm-hmm. So you